Hi friends, so welcome to the class. So in the last lecture we were discussing about advertisement, basically the role of advertisement in B2B market and how various form of advertisements are used by the marketers in the B2B industry. So we talked about generally the important factor like social media advertisement. Now, how social media, the paid social media advertisements have become very popular in the B2B space, right? Because of its reach, its reach to the potential customers and creation of lead and all. So, how they have been very helpful in comparison to the B2C industry where you see maybe television being a very popular medium. In the B2B market, we do not see that, but we see that we on the contrary, we see the social media being a very popular platform of advertisement. And before that, we also talked about personal selling. So, let us continue with the advertisement that we were talking about, how social media advertising is influencing the B2B market, and we will continue from there with sales promotion and all, right. So, what social media helps to the what helps does it give to the B2B marketers? How it helps the B2B marketers? So, basically if you see it increases the exposure to the brand. Now, IBM has a separate Twitter channel to announce their latest research developments. Now, why did IBM do it? Because IBM is a big brand, no doubt about it, and it has a presence in almost many countries across almost all the countries in the globe. But still IBM uses social media for their advertisement, right, and they have the exclusive Twitter channel for that. So, this is an indication that social media has a wide reach, right. Today almost 60% of the people on the internet use social media and or even more than that, and these people can you can IBM can directly experience or directly advertisement make an advertisement of its research developments on this social media and increase its reach and exposure, right. Similarly, it also helps in finding the qualified leads. Now, for an example, the company Salesforce, if you have heard of Salesforce posts engaging and up to date content on their Instagram channel to connect with their audience. Okay. So, Salesforce, almost all companies, they take advantage of social media to develop their leads and even trying to reach their leads in a better way. Third example that you can see is it helps in showcasing event participation. Now, QuickBooks by Intuit announced a virtual event on its Instagram account. Now, even though the event was a month away, they got people talking about it through the post. So, that engagement and discussion about that event had already started before the actual event. Now, this kind of a response can be generated with the help of social media, and B2B marketers need to take advantage and use of it, right. Similarly, social media also helps in increasing or boosting the overall engagement. Now, before posting a new trend, what companies do it, they try to engage the customers, right, engage their potential customers through some innovative measures by, for example, placing some kind of a ad in the social media or something. What happens is the audience comes to watch it and then they tend to discuss about the product or service. Okay. Now, this by creating such kind of a platform where consumers or the potential customers are discussing about the product, the brand, its services and all, that creates a nearly a kind of a very positive scenario for the company. Now, one company, MailChimp, came up with a very innovative LinkedIn campaign to boost the engagement. They launched a video game to familiarize users with their brand. So, now that is very interesting. So, before the actual launch of the product, people were already aware. So, most of the awareness job among the potential customers, the leads, has been already done by the company. So, companies can take advantage of it. The next point is it helps to build thought leadership. Now, Adobe, Adobe has a social media marketing strategy where they try to build this thought leadership. Now, what is thought leadership? They don't talk about directly about their product and all, but they try to focus on issues like education and all, which helps the audience to discuss more and more about Adobe's products, right. And unknowingly or in a subconscious way, because of the use of these products and discussion about them, they become more familiar with Adobe's products and they tend to maybe purchase more, right. So, what it has done is it has launched surveys, case studies and educational blog posts which they publish it on their social media channels. Now, that helps the potential clients to understand the benefit of using Adobe services. Finally, it helps in winning the customer trust. Now, customer trust is very important and more so in a B2B space, because in a B2B you do not have large number of customers, but you have few large valued customers rather, right. So, in such a situation, how to create a trust, how to retain the trust among the customers is very important. One of the best ways to create a great first impression on social media is through customer testimonials. Now, where customers start writing about the giving their opinion about the company. So, it helps in establishing credibility and boosting the reputation of the company. And the best part is that it helps to experiment with text based photos, audios and even videos. So, what companies do is they launch video posts, audio posts where customers have spoken great about the company or the product of the company. So, as a result, what happens when the other customers, potential customers who are yet to become customers have see or watch these social media campaigns, they tend to generate interest and they try to watch it more and they tend to get interested in the product of the company. So, this does a lot of publicity, it does a lot of advertisement for the company. So, these are some very important you can say benefits of social media being used by the companies. So, in the B2B space, this has a very important role to play. Now, from advertisement, now we move into social sales promotional methods. Now, what are sales promotional methods and how are they important in the B2B market? We have been saying that advertisement is important, but not so much in comparison to the other methods like personal selling, sales promotion, because these play a very vital role in the B2B market. Had it been a B2C, you would have talked about only advertisement largely or advertisement and sales promotion. But when it comes to B2B, it is more about personal selling, sales promotion, right, and publicity. But yes, online advertisement obviously has taken off in a big way, no doubt about it. So, what is sales promotion? When the company tries to promote its products through some measures, okay. So, how does the company do it? So, the company tries to promote its products through trade shows, exhibitions, by distributing catalogs, sales contests, promotional novelties, promotional letters, seminars and conferences. So, there are some methods that the company adopts in order to promote its products and services. Now, for example, a trade show. Now, what is a trade show? It is a trade show present the manufacturers an occasion to exhibit and demonstrate their products to a large number of customers in a small time, in a short period of time. Now, you must have seen certain trade shows maybe in around your place. Now, these trade shows are the places where large number of buyers, sellers come with their products and they display it out there. These are the second most important promotional activity for industrial marketers after personal selling. So, trade shows occupy a very important role in the B2B communication, right, after personal selling. And trade shows are generally organized by trade associations annually or maybe maybe every 6 months at a particular location. So, some of the exhibitions may be very popular and companies look forward to participate, and even there are cases where certain kind of let us say one part of the one type of industry, for example let us say medical appliances industry or construction division industry, they look up to certain particular exhibitions where it is most of the participants will be from their kind of industry. Okay. So, there are very famous trade shows across the world where companies tend to participate and they take pride in participating and also displaying their product. That becomes a very handy tool for them, because by participating and presenting their products, they explain the customers about their novelty, their R&D developments, and they can even they tend to learn from other competitors products, and they also try to take the sales call and all. So, what happens is sometimes the orders, they receive the orders in the trade shows itself. Okay. So, these are some very big advantages of the trade show or exhibition. So, you can see this is an example of a trade show. So, different people participating, and how customers are, maybe potential customers are visiting to different stalls and all, and they look at the they take advantage of the situation, they discuss with the members of the company and try to learn about their products and services, and sometimes they even place the order there and then, right. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Obviously, advantages are many, but there are also few disadvantages. So, first of all, one to one contact with the potential buyers and existing customers increases the awareness on the company and its products. Okay. So, when you meet directly the company people out there and tend to learn about it, and also you meet people who may have used these products and services. So, that increases an interest among the potential buyers. Occasion to sell the products to the customer directly where no intermediaries are involved. So, as I said, you can place your order there directly. It helps in building a database of prospective customers. So, it helps you in building a database of the prospective customers who are visiting to that trade show, and they are participating there. It also helps in building a goodwill and relationship with these buyers, potential buyers, right. So, the company people, the maybe the people who have a lot of influence in their company, they when they participate in the trade shows, they meet those manufacturers and sellers, and if the relationship is positive, that sends a very positive signal to their maybe head office, right, and that may result in a conversion of a sales. The last point is demonstrating non-portable equipment that is otherwise difficult to take. B2B products are generally bulky, they are complex, they are very difficult to carry, they are not so easily portable. So, in such a condition, what happens, it is easy for a manufacturer or a seller to maybe place one product or a dummy product or something to explain the buyers, right, potential buyers, about its specification, about its uses, its characteristics, everything. Discovering new and innovative products. So, competitors products, they can watch and learn how it is different from theirs. Opportunity to get new product ideas due to the customer interaction. So, customers interact and they tell you about the kind of requirement they have, what exactly they want from the product. So, here the company gets an idea about the requirement, the voice of the customer, what is called, right. So, it is generally called as voice of customer. So, this voice of customer or the requirements of the customer are noted down, and that helps is passed on to the R&D team. So, the R&D team then starts developing accordingly. A good break also, it is a good break for the salespeople who get an opportunity to learn and also meet the clients and all, and it is a it breaks the monotony of the regular job that they are doing, and it also finally, obviously the most important, generating leads for the new business. But the disadvantages are also there, few disadvantages. For example, it is very expensive to participate in a trade show, right, and it is very difficult to identify at the potential customer. Identifying is not so easy, but at least this gives you an opportunity. and pulling that and attracting the customers to visit one place is also very difficult, because if you have ever seen a trade show, you will realize the the crowd may be very high, and understanding who my client would be, potential client, is very difficult, and to attract them is still difficult, right. So, these are some challenges, but not a disadvantage exactly, but a challenge. Exhibition conducted by Automotive Component Manufacturers Association of India. So, this is how it looks like. So, accelerate your components business. So, this is an example, 2023 12 to 15 January, it is maybe going to, it is happening in the Pragati Maidan, New Delhi. So, you can book your space, you can participate then, right. Another example is virtual exhibition. So, today virtual exhibitions are also coming up in a big way, as especially after this COVID, it is going to increase more and more. So, conducted by the Indian Electrical and Electronics Manufacturer Association, right. So, this is also going to happen, this has already happened. So, 26th October 2021. So, there is some kind of a the all in one virtual mega event. So, people can participate, they can have a look at the products and services, and maybe put their questions and discuss. Then you have catalogs. Now, catalogs are also very popular, very important in B2B and especially industrial components and products, right. So, this is a printed form of direct marketing promotional tools used by industrial marketers to provide information about their products, especially if they have long product lines with different shape, size or other features. Now, for example, let us say a company produces different kinds of products, and each product line, maybe they have hundreds of specifications or hundreds of designs, varieties and all. So, that becomes very difficult to demonstrate to a customer unless you have a catalog in hand. So, catalog comes very handy in such a situation. It contains information like product specification, performance data, service requirement, application of the product, right, and its drawing, everything, right. So, it gives a lot of information to the potential customer. Salesforce offer catalog to the potential buyers and explain the product features. It helps the buyers in comparing various suppliers. So, suppose there are different kinds of suppliers, and all of the suppliers have provided catalog to the potential buyer, then the buyer has a chance to compare through the catalog among its various suppliers, and then it seeks quotation from the one who would provide the best quality product according to their knowledge. Okay. Example of Asahi India Glass Limited. This is a a case of this is a catalog. Just an example, just to show you. This is for educational purpose, right? So, there is no point in it could be any company, but this is one of Asahi. So, here there are different products, how it looks, and they you can just have a glance that okay, this is the product, and its description about the product is given to you. So, these are the catalogs, and it is taken from their site. So, it helps the potential customers to realize, to get a feel of the products. Companies, B2B companies also conduct B2B, B2C, but companies conduct sales contests. Now, that is also a part of the sales promotion, which helps to boost the morale of the employee and their intermediaries like the dealers, distributors and all, right. Now, depending on the amount of sales generated, employees and dealers are offered incentives in form of cash prizes, gifts or some foreign trips and all these things, right. So, sales contests are also considered as a part of the sales promotion method, right. Companies also use for promotion, sales promotion, they use promotional novelties. Now, what are these? These are small gift items. Now, you see in a B2C space, you can give maybe a product as a sample, free sample. But in a B2B case, it is not possible. You can't give a software free, or maybe you can't give a bulky item free to the customer, right. It is maybe very costly. So, what do? They create small gift items given by the company to the existing and potential customers, right, which has their name and logo printed on it. The common novelties include diaries, keychains, calendars, pens. You must have seen, many of you must have seen. They must have come to your office, or your somewhere close by, and they must have given calendars. So, what happens? It creates an impact. It creates a relationship with between the buyer and the seller, and also it creates it tries to stay in the mind because it is always present in front of you, right. Promotional novelties are offered according to the type of customer, costly for senior management and not so costly ones for the medium and junior management positions. The next sales promotion technique that is used is promotional letters. Now, this is one of the most effective form of promotion where personalized letters are sent to the individual customers along with the catalog and coupons giving technical specifications about a new product or a existing product, right. So, by reaching out to the customers, what happens is it creates a bonding between the buyer and the seller, right. Letters to the customer at regular periods is a good way of keeping in touch with them, and particularly in case of products that are purchased infrequently, which is not very frequently purchased. In such a case, the customer may forget the seller. So, in order to not to forget, the seller tends to write letters, keep in touch, right. The cost of promotional letters is nothing, almost nothing, very less, right. So, in comparison to the personal visits that you make or something, and it also receives good attention. Seminars are very popular again, right. So, conferences, seminars as we know. So, for example, seminars also conducted by the industrial marketers for by making audio visual presentation through the technical experts of the company. So, generally such kind of seminars is followed by a question answer session, and the benefit of buying organizations where technical information is provided. So, the buyer can ask questions and try to understand the nature of the product, its services and all, and the seller organization tries to impart that knowledge. It helps in creating a favorable image also about the company and also to establish their contacts with various technical people from the buying organization, right. So, seminars is generally done for relationship building, seminars and conferences, relationship building, image boosting, and trying to create a favorable image in the minds of the buyers. So, this is an example, the seminar conducted by Indian Machine Tool Manufacturers Association. So, taken from the site, their site. So, which is in 2022, 25th February 2022, a virtual seminar, right. So, it could be a virtual seminar, it could be a physical seminar, right. So, now we have discussed about first we discussed about personal selling, right, then we discussed about advertisement, then we discussed about sales promotional measures, right, and finally we will talk about one more important method, and also we did about social media advertising, we talked about it, right, digital social media. Now we will talk about publicity and public relation. Now, why it is important, how it is important, what is publicity by the way? Publicity refers to the way information is presented to the larger public through the media. Now, it is simply in the form of news, some event information and write-ups. So, that creates a publicity. So, here the maybe the company is not doing it, maybe some newspaper agency, news agency does it for its own sake, right. The main aim of publicity is to create awareness and credibility to the people regarding brands, products and the companies. And it has nothing to do with the company's sales, and it can also be conveyed through non-paid communication. The company has no control over the publicity. See, in case of publicity what happens, the company has no role because maybe some news agency is trying to publish it, right, a news that let us say XYZ company has come up with a has developed a new product which can be beneficial for some kind of customers. Now, this is a news. Now, this kind of news is a part of that publicity. Okay. The main idea of B2B, on the other hand, public relation is slightly different because public relationship is done by the company with a motive in mind. Okay. And what is this main idea? The main idea of B2B PR, public relation, is to build a very good reputation for the brand and maintain a healthy relationship with the public and other business partners. So, this would lead to positive image and make it seems relevant and increase the goodwill of the company. So, publicity and public relations, generally they are taken, these names are taken together, are also a very vital part of the communication in the B2B market. So, they play a very vital role, okay, because B2B marketers live and survive on trust and trust can be increased when somebody, a third party, talks about you. For example, the news agency writes good about some company, let us say writes good about, let us say IBM, or let us say Infosys, Wipro. Now, talking good about this ultimately results in a positive or an advantageous situation to the company in discussion. Okay. Now, this is a just an brief kind of a, you can say, a diagram, right. So, how it looks like public relations. So, image building, events, newspaper article, radio, TV spots. So, this is how companies try to develop. Now, let us see the difference between the two. Meaning, publicity gaining visibility to the eyes of the public. Public relation is a strategic process aimed at developing a good image. So, the company tries to develop a good image in the minds of the consumers. Okay. What is the objective? Publicity to draw the attention of the media, to provide updates about the services and products and the brand. In public relation, what is the objective? To draw the attention of the targeted audience and to increase the sales. Nature, company has no control in publicity, but here the company does everything. So, even the content writing, the kind of channel being used, the kind of event being sponsored, everything is controlled by the company. Type of communication, so this is unpaid. Obviously, when the company has no control, it has nothing to do, unpaid, whereas public relation is a paid form. Okay. So, the company spends money on PR building, PR development. This is carried out by the media houses and all, and here the company itself, the company whose information is going to the market, that company only does it. What is the intention? Publicity, the intention is to create awareness, and here to create attention and sales. Okay. How good is PR? A strategy, as a strategy for the B2B companies. So, PR is very much effective. Why? And that is why if you talk about any company, right, be it a B2C, B2B, everybody has a PR department, public relation department. But this becomes more important for B2B in the case of B2B. Why? Because of the kind of restrictions B2B products and services have. One is their kind of the nature of the product and the kind of customers you have, and being very educated rational customers. So, the kind of reach and trust development and goodwill development, for that a PR becomes very handy. Now, what is the some advantages? It creates a clear brand message. A carefully crafted PR strategy provides clarity about your business identity and key messages. Okay. So, writing a clear brand message, or sending it to the potential customers is very important as a part of the PR work. PR, personal relation, public relation also department also has a role to play in creating a positive brand image, as I just said. It helps in increasing the brand credibility. So, earning customers trust will determine a business success or failure, right. So, a PR strategy can bridge the trust gap between the company and its potential clients. It helps in improving relationships. So, companies that have chances to connect with vendors, customers, industry experts strengthen the relationship with the right entities in their industry. So, it helps in relationship building. And finally, obviously, the final bottom line is to increase the profit and sales. So, increased trust and relationships lead to better deals, shorter sales cycle, that means the sales happens much faster, and higher customer lifetime value. So, PR has a lot of role to play in the repeat business, right. So, that is where PR and personal selling, publicity, public relationship and personal selling, these three words have a prominent role to play in B2B markets. Okay. And how do PR agencies help the brands? They help the brands in like for example, positioning and messaging, communication strategies, content creation, event creation, product launch, doing some research for the company, so writing the speech, employee relationship, it helps to develop, and thought leadership, creating a leadership position in the minds of the customers. And it also helps in crisis management. Sometimes a company, because of some problem or some crisis has happened, the PR department's role is to understand that and try to reduce or minimize that crisis, right, and control the crisis. So, this is all companies do as part of the PR, their public relations, right. So, uh, public relation and publicity play a very vital role in, at least for those products, because of their characteristics, the nature, again I am repeating it, because being bulky, complex, so you cannot sell it to customers so easily. So, there PR agencies play a vital role and publicity plays a very vital role, right. So, with this I will try to wind up today's lecture, and till then take care. Thank you very much.